Maybe repeat that because couldn't hear.
So, there's helicopters all over the show. There's a cow dying over there. I'm trying my hardest climb ever, and it's raining. Everything's pretty good.
Oh, but that's not the worst of it. They're down there. Are we lost?
Yes. So when you're caving down here using some very specific gear, it's actually quite delicate. You've got to treat it with a lot of love, otherwise you might be in trouble. And you wouldn't want to do anything too reckless. You wouldn't want to do anything too reckless in case you injured yourself, because that'd be a problem.
Are we lost?
Yes.
Ever so slightly lost.
Smashed my back all the way out.
Same, I did the same.
Oh, it's feeling good. A little something to remember the trip by. Alright. That's pretty epic.
That's pretty sweet.
That's pretty good. That's pretty freaking not bad. So we're here in Takaka at the place called Paynes Ford. Paynes Ford is like the hub, the climbing hub of New Zealand. This is paradise, in case you didn't know. So we just finished our caving trip, which was epic. Now we might hit up some climbing.
With there being only two of us, we spent way less time filming and way more time climbing, which is why we have no footage from that time, but it was also why we were sore for 5 days. We went and visited a friend for New Year's afterwards, and then it was time to drive all the way back down to Dunedin. We had another climbing trip to go on, and this one's goal was to push the on-site grade. With my elbow injury showing the first signs of improvement, meaning I could climb more than one day in a row, I was on fire and excited to get going.
So we're just going to go pick up my friend Afiq. He's going to be our third member for the next week. We're heading out to Wanaka to spend like 6 days out there, so he's going to be our third for that, so let's go and get him. Bring it dang dang.
Hello?
There he is.
Come on in.
There he is. So the goal for while we're in Wanaka is to climb hard, to actually push my grade. Basically, not to push my grade, but to climb at my maximum grade as many climbs as I possibly can. So at the moment it's 21, it's to climb as many 21s as I possibly can and see if by the end of it, maybe I can start getting closer to climbing 22. Okay, so on-sighting is, in my mind, the best way to climb. If you don't know what on-sighting means, it pretty much means you walk up to a climb, you'll have a look at it, and then you climb it. You don't practice it, you don't get someone to tell you what the holds are like. Just from what you can see, then you go and climb it. I mean, normally I don't even look up at the wall properly. I just walk up to it, oh yeah, all right, and I just figure it out on the way up. And that's my favorite way of doing it. Obviously, I make a lot of mistakes like that actually, but yeah, it comes with a bunch of challenges especially because holds often look like they're going to be like a good hold from the bottom. and they're actually not. And so I was doing a climb, I think it was a grade like 19 or something. I'm at the bottom and you'll reach up for something and off, a lot of on-sighting is probably really boring to watch, I'd say, because it'll just be the person standing there kind of like looking around for a hold, maybe like reaching out left, trying out some holds that are actually no good and probably be kind of boring to watch, but you're way more likely to fall. Yeah, so I was climbing this climb and it got to the top and it was like, the hold started kind of like disappearing and then it ended up with just this like crack. And so firstly, if you're a crack climber, you're gonna be like, what a noob, like I should know what to do. I got taught that like you put your hand in and then you like make a fist and it like jams and it doesn't want to like pull out. So I was like trying that and it's not working and like the holds are vanishing, so I don't really know what to do. So I just kind of stuck my whole arm like as deep as I could get it into the wall, just like really jammed it in there. But it wasn't really any good. And then I went a little bit higher and I wasn't really sure what to do, so I kind of just like curled my arm back towards me and kind of got like a fat forearm lock. And I'm not sure if that's a thing. Again, crack climbers will probably laugh at me. I'm not sure if that's actually a thing or not. It worked pretty good. I should just put my arm in and then just like really like clench my like forearm and then kind of shuffle up a little and then slide it up and then like really like clench it again. Okay, so eventually like the crack like completely ran out, so I didn't have anywhere left to stuff my meaty forearm, so just kind of work it out onto the top. And it definitely takes longer if you're on-sighting because you have to muck around a whole lot. Yeah, I climbed out of the crack and then just kind of wandered my way up the face and eventually got to the top, and that was a good one. That was a good one. Okay, so then after that one, the next one I did, I can't remember the name of it, but it was in the shade. It was cold, right? It was already a cold morning, so I started up and yeah, I tried to warm my hands a little bit before I got there, but the rock's obviously really cold because it's been in the shade this whole time. But yeah, like you just don't really know where to put your hands, and so like I'll hook a foot up. I always put my feet really high. I just do it. I put my foot up, and then you kind of just like lunge in, and you just like really grab at anything, hope it's good, and if it's not, that's a problem. But then yeah, then I kind of wandered my way up a little bit more, and I got to a space where I just like really didn't know if I was even supposed to go left. I really didn't know if I was supposed to go left or right at all. So you get to a spot and you don't really know if you should go right or left, but you just go for it anyway. Yeah, and then sometimes you get to a place where, you know, you look down and your run out's kind of far, which means you're gonna fall a long way. And you can see the bolt, and normally if it's like, it normally means there's gonna be like a good hold to clip from. So you hold on to something pretty good, you clip quick draw, then you clip your rope, then you keep going. But like, if you're on something, you don't really know if there is going to be a really good hold, and if there is, you don't necessarily know where it is. So many times I'll like get like a gross like 2-finger side pull or something. I'll be like straining and like clipping, and I'll finally get the clip, and then I'll make a move and there'll be a great hold like just above it. But you just don't know. So I kind of like, on this one I was like real cold, so I could see the bolt. So I was like, oh man, I better warm up my hands. So I'm just like kind of like pushing my face against my hand, like, and like breathing on my fingers to try and warm them up, because I know I have to try and make this clip, and if I fall it's going to be nasty. But then yeah, you just find whatever you can find to be the best hold and clip from that. So I was up there in the freezing cold, like really not having a good time, and it makes sense that the name, that's when I realized that the name Effity FF with more swear word letters in there is probably why I got its name. Like it sucked, like I was like, this is not fun at all. Good name though. But then went on to the next one. If it's an onside, it means you haven't watched anyone else climb it either. If you watch someone go before you, then it's called a flash, if you see it. But also, you never really know where you're supposed to be clipping the bolts from. So I started up this grade 20, I can't remember what it was called. And the bolt's like, I reached to clip the bolt and I couldn't quite get it from where I was. And I'd already grabbed the drawer out, so I just chucked the drawer in my mouth. Was expecting to move like a tiny bit and then clip it. Next thing you know, I'm like grunting and like I'm starting to like sweat a little bit, but also like salivatate, whatever you call that. It's dripping, my mouth's dripping. And I'm like cranking all these holds and like wiggling around. I'm like trying to like flick my foot up, and I finally like get into this position, and then I'm like way above where the bolt is, and I'm like clipping down. I'm like pretty sure this isn't where you're supposed to clip from, but I've just done it, so just carry on with the climb. And then also, often from underneath, it'll look like a good hold, but it's actually not, or it doesn't look like a good hold and is. So you could try and like carefully like test it, I guess. Normally I just go for a lunge and hope for the best, and like most of the time it's good enough to hold on to. Sometimes it looks like it's gonna be sick and you jump up and you get it and it's not, and that's a problem. But often it's like just good enough. So I just kind of just throw myself up and grab whatever I can, then just squeeze it really, really hard if I can, and then kind of climb like that. But sometimes you get to a spot where I'm clipping, like I've got my hand up high and I'm clipping, but I can tell as I'm doing it, this is not how you're supposed to do it. Like I know straight away that you shouldn't be in this awkward position. Like I've got my hand like across my body. I'm like, this is definitely not the way the person who designed the climb expected it to be climbed. You know, you're like, well, this is not how it's supposed to be done, but I'm doing it anyway, and we're already here, so let's just hope for the best. And then just carry on, just pull as hard as you could. This one actually made me feel sick. It was right at the end of the day. I wasn't actually going to climb anymore, but Afiq talked me into it, so I thought I'd do this one. And then yeah, I'm literally just pulling so hard I started feeling sick. Yeah, definitely lost weight on that trip as well. We both did, me and Vince, but yeah, no, you get the final clip and then it's all over, it's all good. It's important to always stretch before you climb. Okay, resume. Woo! Oi! Oh, the hole just broke off. Yeah, dude, that had to go at Vince. It had to go at me. It's had to go at you as well, man. Just give it the old bah! Dude, the exposure's about to get legit. Oh man.
Dude, my wedgie's about to get legit.
Tell me more, tell me more. Well, that's the hardest climb. That's the hardest grade I've ever climbed. But I think they got graded wrong because that was like easier than most 20s. About as easy as a 20. So there you go. Yeah. I don't know. It was good. It was good though. It was a good climb. .20 now, and sun is up. Climbing wall's just there, past 400 sheep. It's all pretty hard climbing out here, I think, but that's okay. So it's day 5 now. We've been out in Wanaka here for a while. We're at the bakehouse, which is supposed to be called the bakehouse because it just cooks here in the sun. We came here hoping for some sun. Guess we missed it. Yeah, today should be another big day. Another big day of climbing. Gonna start here and then move over that way, do some harder ones, and then move over to the crack house, which I actually had a dream about last night. Not about the actual crack house, I had a dream about a crack house. And do some really hard climbing. And then hopefully we'll all be so wrecked that we just fall asleep.
And some hard climbing we did when I ended up climbing my first grade 22. Then we carried on. The day was not over, so we climbed some more, and then some more, and then some more to finish off the day. And eventually we were so tired that one of us actually did fall asleep in the car on the way home. Hope you liked the video. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're also interested in becoming a third member, just send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. Hope you enjoyed it.